First witness, please. Oh my, I'm sure you did make Mr. happy. Good evening, Mrs. Dupree.
Oh, I was going to take our Doberman Rex and Lafitte out for a walk this morning, and I opened the door, and there was a pile of salt shaped like a cross on our front doorstep. I was terrified. I told Pierre about it, but he said, "Don't worry, it's just a prank." But how could I not worry, especially after Elise said it was voodoo and she was carrying a crucifix around with her the rest of the day? I saw Alexis reading a book about voodoo the other day. I bet she knows something about it.
Oh, that Mr. Dupree been activated.
The last few weeks have been hard. He's been having stomach problems, and the doctor's been at our house every other day. I told him to quit eating that rich food Cayenne always makes him, but he wouldn't listen. He probably had gout. Well, I'm on a low-carb diet, and I really wish he would have joined me on it. His last few weeks would have been much happier. Oh, I don't know if this will help, but I found this in our bedroom the other night.
Wilson, would you care to read that, please?
Sure. It's like this letter's from the Old South renovations. Dear Mr. Peak, enclosed are this week's expenses for Peak Mansion. As I told you on the phone, we discovered serious structural damage that was not evident to us when we performed our initial inspection. These major structural repairs will cost approximately $300,000 in addition to the original proposal of $250,000. Please be assured that we are doing our best to keep your costs under control. When we are finished with your project, Peak Mansion will be the finest showplace in the Garden District. Sincerely, Jerry Simmons.
Very interesting. Now, thank you, Mrs. Dupree.
Thank you, Mr. Detective.
Next witness, please. Miss Dupree, first of all, I'm so sorry about your daddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that.
But did you notice anything suspicious there?
Well, as a matter of fact, just after you, a messenger came to our house to deliver something by mistake. He was pretty drunk, so I think he's been celebrating Mardi Gras since this morning.
Of course.
And I have a hunch that he got scared off by all those people on the sidewalk. You know, those freaks that can eat because her family comes? But he ended up at our house by mistake, and he dropped this off. I think you'll find it pretty interesting.
Thank you. Wilson, please. Today.
Dear Mrs. Gothica, I hope these plans are what you envisioned for the Dupree Chateau renovation project. As we discussed in our earlier meeting, renovations for your project should take approximately 1 year. You are ready to begin as soon as you acquire the property. Please let me know when you're ready to move forward with your plans. Sincerely, Minnie Priceman III, Chief Architect.
Interesting.
As I thought, you know, I wondered what my daddy was going to think of that message. I was going to show him tonight, but it's really beautiful.
Well, Mr. Dupree, what the hell did you tell me about that salt cross? Excuse me. The salt cross that was on your doorstep, please.
I put the salt cross there. I was just trying to spook Melissa a little. You know, we couldn't scare her off. Daddy and I didn't need her around.
Thank you, Mr. Dupree.
Are you done?
Yes, I am done. Thank you. And you have a nice evening. I'm sorry about your daddy. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Dupree. Next witness, please. Mr. Oh my, are you a tall drink of water, sir? What can you tell me about Kunik Gothica's relationship with Mr. Dupree?
Well, Nick must be thrilled out here, Priya's dad. She can finally host a crew of Midas Mardi Gras ball next year at her house. Ever since we threw her a bone and invited her to join the crew of Midas, she's been plotting to get Pierre ousted as our king so she could become the first ruling queen. She's always been the jealous type. She made such sad attempts to lure us to her refurbished ballroom this year. In fact, it was just pathetic. Did you really think that spending $1 million on a refurbished ballroom would buy our loyalty, Kanika? Kanika was also involved in an online bidding war with Pierre over those antique Mardi Gras beads.
The beads.
The beads, the
Yes,
same
thank
ones he was strangled with.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Kanika must have been furious with Pierre when he won those beads. I think she was hoping to wear those when she was crowned queen of the Mardi Gras next year. She's delusional. We all knew Pierre was going to give those beads to Melissa tonight at the ball.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Peak. Please don't go anywhere too far because I might need some more questions. Thank you. Next, Gator. What the hell would call somebody?
Funny question coming from you, Mr. Moorhead.
Oh, Gator, that's your mom. But can you tell me anything about Mr. Dupree?
Well, there's a few funny things about this state.
Oh,
Let me tell you about this Cayenne pepper. He's a strange case. You know, funny kind of strange. His mama must have beat him when he was young. A few days ago, I went to the Dupree Chateau to pick up Alexis, and I noticed that he was brewing a pot of gumbo there on the stove. So, of course, naturally, I went over to have me a taste. Well, when I was walking over there, I noticed some weird bottles by the pot. And you know, I like weird bottles, but these were really weird bottles.
You all got to give it to her, Gator, you know that.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
I Gator done. Well, I was looking at these bottles, and Cayenne, he got real upset at me. And he started cursing at me, and he knocked the spoon right out of my hand, and then he told me to get the hell out of his kitchen. Some kind of temper, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
But as we were scrambling around the kitchen, this piece of paper came.
Yeah, I see that.
And I've been a little delayed in trying to get it back to you.
Well, thank you, Gator. Let's see what this says. Well, thank you, Wilson. You did it.
Moorhead from the south, he can't read. Mon cher Pierre, I am writing this letter to you from my deathbed. The doctors tell me that I don't have much longer to live. As my dying wish, I beg you to claim our child as a Dupree and raise her as your own. It is my hope that someday you can love her as you love Alexis. Even though our affair was brief, I am thankful that we remained civil with each other. Our daughter shouldn't suffer for our mistake. She is an innocent child. Yours sincerely, Fifi.
Thank you. Gator, thanks a lot.
Police!
Good evening. Police, did Mr. Dupree have any enemies?
Well, I overheard an interesting conversation between Craig and Gator, too.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to kick off the fellow. Whoa.
Monsignor Craig went into the billiard room to have a brandy and smoke a cigar, and Gator came walking in, talking to him. And so I was cleaning in the library, but all at once I heard a lot of shouting, so I ran to the door. I didn't go in, but I put my ear to the door, and I heard Monsignor Dupree say, "I'll be dead in my grave before I'll let a Cajun tramp like you marry into my family." And then he swung his glass against the door, and he said, "Now get the hell out of here." And Peter came running out of there like the place was on fire. And so
Denise, do you know anything about this letter?
I gave that letter to Cam to hang on to. Fifi is my mother, and I recently found out that Pierre Dupre is my father.
He was an active old goat, wasn't he? Yes, he was. Thank you.
Cam to hang on to that letter and make sure nobody found out.
Sure, yeah, that'll be all. Could you send in Mr. Pepper?
Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Pepper, yes. Kitty tells me you've been cooking up something unusual for Mr. Dupree today.
That dirty swamp thing was sticking his dirty fingers into my gumbo. You know, I don't appreciate people coming into my kitchen and, you know, just tasting my culinary creations without my permission. Of course, this is no surprise. Only a low-class, dirty swamp rat like Gator would do such a thing. And yes, sometimes Pierre did request some special ingredients. Sometimes he liked me to disguise his worst-tasting medicine by putting it in his food.
That'll be all, now, Ken. Next witness, please. I think it is Bourbon. Bourbon. You are Mr. Dupree's nephew? How long have you known him?
Well, I've never met a pleasant like this man, listen. And even though the Dupree family wanted nothing to do with me, I kind of kept up with them by reading the society column and the high society news. I was touched by the whirlwind marriage of my Uncle Pierre and my Aunt Melissa. What a beautiful love story that was. In fact, you know, I think I got a recent article that I clipped out of the newspaper about my Uncle Pierre and Melissa.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. You know, I always thought these high society parties would be fun, but I never knew how much fun they'd be.
Thank you. Look at this. Bourbon,
What?
I don't think we're done yet.
I think
We've got a clipping from the High Society News here. A millionaire and his waitress. The society debut of Melissa F. Dupree was the most entertaining dinner party I've attended in years. Dupree Chateau was buzzing with Garden District's most important residents. Pierre Dupree was as handsome and charming as ever. He was beaming with pride as his bride approached the staircase for her grand entrance. Apparently, Miss Melissa F. Dupree changed her gown at the last minute. Pierre was as shocked and horrified as the rest of his guests when Mrs. Dupree descended the staircase in a horrific gown that I wouldn't let my poodle sleep on. The spandex mermaid-style dress made her look like a character from Dr. Seuss. Don't even ask me about the 5-inch platform heels that she must have borrowed from a Bourbon Street stripper. Mrs. Dupree has a lovely figure, but her taste in clothing resembles a Vegas streetwalker more than the wife of a distinguished millionaire. Poor Pierre. He should have brought an empty wallet home from Vegas like everybody else does.
Mrs. Kunig?
Hello, everyone. Oh, my sweetheart.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yes, thank you. No, please. Oh, yes, thank you. Yes. Mrs. Kunig, some of your fans hanging around the mansion?
Why, of course. You know, when I'm not more busy working on my latest novels, I just love going out and visiting with all of my fans. Why, those lovely ghouls, they hide in the bushes and they line up on the sidewalk just to get a glimpse of me. Oh, my fans love me. Yes, they do. All over the world because of my wonderful know, oh, it means absolutely everything to me, my dear.
Yes. You are a bit of a colorful bird, ma'am.
Why, thank you, my dear.
What can you tell me about this letter?
Letter?
Yes.
Oh, the discussing your meeting on business and project harassment. We already began
Yes.
Yes. I might hate that egotistical man, but you know, the condition of his mansion affects everyone in the garden district, don't you know? I have made wonderful plans how to renovate his mansion and turn it into quite an elite site. Yes, in fact, I was planning to share those plans with Pierre tonight. You know, he deserves only the best, and I really do believe that I can give that to him, my dear.
Could.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Camille.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Gary, I have one more question for you. Did you and Mr. Dupree have an argument today?
Well, I was in the library having a discussion with Mr. Dupree. I was trying to talk to him real sensible, but he kept talking down to me, using big words, and I didn't have my dictionary.
I know what you mean, Gary.
I was begging and pleading for him to allow me to have Alexis's hand in marriage, but he said I wasn't good enough for his little girl. He just wouldn't listen to me, so I had to yell just to be heard.
So you
You understand?
You did have an argument.
I was just yelling to be heard.
Thank you.
So then I got up and left. Thank you.
No, thank you, Gator. That'll be all for now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have you figured it out yet? I don't think so. Let's have ourselves a little meal and we'll continue later. Thank you.